Hello students, I am very happy to bring you another video on explanation of can't climb trees anymore. Yesterday in the previous video we discussed some paragraphs and from there we will continue. Yesterday we finished with this paragraph. She sat beside him on the bench. It was March and the mango tree was in a blossom. A sweet, rather heavy fragrance drenched the garden. This is where we finished yesterday, and from there we will continue. They were silent for some time. That means they were not talking to each other. The man closed his eyes and remembered other times. Other times are the some memories of a past. The music of a piano, the chiming of a grandfather clock, the constant twitter of a budgerigas on the veranda. His grandfather's cranking up the old car. The meaning of a constant is always. Twitter means a sound. So, the music of piano, the chiming of a grandfather clock, the constant twitter of budgerigas on the veranda. His grandfather's cranking up, trying to start the old car. I used to climb the jackfruit tree, he said, opening his eyes. I didn't like the jackfruit though. Do you? See, this expression used to came several times in this lesson. I used to climb the jackfruit tree, though I didn't like the jackfruit. That is the meaning of, that is the regular structure of this sentence. But you can write with though at the end of sentence. And ended with a question tag. I used to climb the jackfruit tree, he said, opening his eyes. I don't like the jackfruit though. Do you? And the little girl said, it's alright in pickles. I suppose so. Maybe like that. The tree was easy to climb. I spent a lot of time in it. See here the preposition that came here in, inside the tree, not on the tree. On means on the top of the tree. So since the tree was easy to climb, the narrator spent a lot of time in it. And the little girl asked him, do you want to climb it again? My parents won't mind. No, not after climbing the garden wall. Now he is scared. No, not after climbing the garden wall. He was almost out of breath when he tried to climb over the wall instead of going round and enter through the gate. So he struggled. He was panting, and the little girl helped him to climb down. Let's just sit here for a few minutes and talk. I mentioned the jackfruit tree because it was my favorite place. Do you see that thick branch stretching out over the roof? Halfway along it, there is a small hollow in which I used to keep some of my treasures. When we say treasures, it's a very valuable things. What kind of treasures? Then the narrator says, oh, nothing very valuable. Marble side one. Marbles means, okay, in Telugu, Golilu. Nothing very valuable. Marble side one. A book I wasn't supposed to read. A few old coins I collected. These are the things he considered his treasures. Okay, now it is not valuable for him. But for a child like him, when he was a child, they were very valuable things. Maybe you can recall the things that you held are so precious in your childhood, and you will wonder at now you don't like them, you don't consider them very valuable. Things came and went. I was a bit of a crow. I was a bit of a crow. That means he picks up things and puts them away, collecting bright things and putting them away. Even though he does not know what to do with it, Since he likes it, he just uh, takes and keeps them away. There was my grandfather's iron cross. Well, not my grandfather's exactly, because he was a British, and the iron cross was a German decoration. Since the iron cross was a German decoration, he clarified to this little girl that the cross, iron cross, does not exactly belong to his grandfather, but it was given to him, given to his grandfather by a German soldier for fighting bravely in the war, in the World War, First World War. So that is the explanation he gave. Awarded for bravery during the war, the First World War, when my grandfather fought in France. He got it from a German soldier. Okay, dead or alive? The little girl asked. See, the little girl meant the grandfather of narrator. She actually asked the narrator whether his grandfather was alive or not. But the narrator thought the little girl was asking about the German soldier. So he did not understand first clearly. That's why he asked this one. I beg your pardon. See, we use this expression when we don't really listen properly what others say. We ask this expression. We say this. Okay? We ask like this. I beg your pardon. That means uh, I ask your apology. I'm sorry that I have not heard what you said. Can you repeat it? That's the meaning of this expression. And uh, the little girl did not answer. So before she answered, he continued, "Oh, you mean the German? I never asked. Dead, I suppose. Or perhaps he was a prisoner." Okay, here, how did the soldier become prisoner? If they lose battle, the soldiers of enemy soldiers were taken and put in prison. That's why, okay, that war might have been lost. The German may have been taken as a prisoner. I never asked grandfather. Isn't that strange? He didn't ask about that German who gave him a bravery, I mean a medal of a bravery. And the Iron Cross, do you still have it? No, he said, looking her in the eyes. I left it in the jackfruit tree. You left it in the tree? Yes. I was so excited at the time, packing and saying goodbye to people and thinking about the ship I was going to sail. On that, I simply forgot all about it. Okay. I told you that this lesson is about some real incidents that happened in the life of Ruskin Bond. Okay, I know it because I have read it elsewhere that uh, once the India got freedom, all the Britishers started going back to England, and so around that time, okay, he as a British parents of British, he also wanted to go away to England, and but the story goes like this. The real incident, he could not stay in England because he was born and brought up in India. So he came back after a few years. So when we associate that incident of Ruskin Bond and read this, we can think that it is a real incident that he narrated in the form of a narrative in which he did not mention his name. Okay, that's a beautiful thing about it. So I was excited about the ship that they were going in, and saying goodbye to people because they were never going to come back. Okay, because of that excitement, he simply forgot all that he kept in the hollow of the tree. She was silent, considering, her finger on her lips, her gaze fixed on the jackfruit tree. Okay, she was trying to okay, understand what he was saying, and she was thinking if that iron cross there in the hollow of the tree or not. Okay, so she asked, she quietly said, "It may still be there in the hollow, in the branch." Yes, he said. It's 25 years, but it may still be there unless someone else found it. If nobody has, if nobody has taken it from there, it will still be there. Then the little girl asked the narrator, "Would you like to go and look?" And he said, the narrator said, "I can climb trees anymore." This is the title also, title of the lesson also. If you can't, I will go and see. If you can't climb, I will go and see. You just sit here and wait for me. She sprang up and ran across the grass, swift and sweet of limb. See, this is the description of the little girl's movement. Swift means quickly, and sweet of limbs also. When someone moves quickly, we use this expression. Soon, she was in the jackfruit tree, crawling along the projecting branch. A warm wind brought little eddies of dust along the road. A warm wind brought little eddies, circular wind when summer sets in, little eddies of dust along the road. Summer was in the air. That means one can feel that summer began already. And from there, she shouted aloud, the little girl, "I found it! I found something!" And now, barefoot. Barefoot means without any chappals on. She ran breathlessly towards him. She is breathless because she climbed up and down the tree, and also she ran. So that's why she was breathless. She ran breathlessly towards him. In her outstretched hand, a rusty old medal. She stretched when she reached that narrator. She stretched her hand with a rusty old medal in her hand. Rusty. Now it is rusted because it was there for her 25 years. He took it from her hand and turned it over on his palm. And the little girl asked eagerly. Eagerly means with a lot of interest. Is it the Iron Cross? Yes, this is it, he said. And the little girl said, "Now I know why you came. He wanted to see if it was still in there, in the tree." You may be right. The narrator did not disagree with the girl. But I am not really sure why I came. Okay, but you can keep the cross. You found it after all. So he wanted the little girl to have that cross because she found it. Then a little girl refused. "No, you keep it, it's yours." And the narrator said, "But it could have remained in the tree for another 25 years if he hadn't climbed up to look for it." That's the reason for not taking the iron cross. But if you hadn't come back again, okay, it will, okay, same. It will be there, even if you did not come, or even if she did not climb up to the into the tree and get that medal on the right day, at the right time, and with the right person. All these things happened, he said. Okay, the right day, he came on the right day, at the right time, he remembered, and he got it back with the right person, the little girl. Okay, he said, getting up and placing the medal in her hands, "It wasn't the cross I came for, it was my youth." Okay, now he told her clearly, the reason why I came here is not because of old medal, but to recall, okay, my youth. She didn't understand that. Now that he is a middle-aged man, he wanted to recall all the happy things that happened in his youth. So he wanted. That's why he came. But the little girl was too small to understand that. She could not understand, but she walked with him to the gate and stood there gazing. After him, as he walked away, she walked after him, behind him. Where the road turned, he looked back and waved to her. Then he quickened his steps. He started walking fast, moved briskly towards the bus stop. Same. There was a sprightliness in his step, there was a liveliness in his step, and something cried aloud in his heart. He felt in his heart, that is the meaning of it. What he felt: dark dancing eyes, melon sweet lips, lissome limbs. This is the description of the little girl. He was recalling how active that girl was. And lips, melon sweet lips, lissome limbs. Lissome means very lively, very active, moving quickly. The mango scented summer breeze made the blood course in his veins. The air that is filled with the smell from the mango flowers made his blood flow in his veins, and he forgot for a moment that he couldn't climb trees anymore. So, because of his thoughts, he forgot that he was not a middle-aged man. He forgot that, and he started going to the bus stop. So, I told you that this very good a chance or very good speculation that this is about Ruskin Bond, and he narrated his real incident in the form of a story. And if you are interested, there are several books of Ruskin Bond. You can buy them and know it for yourself. And that's all for today. Thank you, and we will see in the next video. Until then, bye bye.